Is there any value in exercising for a believer in Christ? Hi, I'm Father Charles, and welcome to my channel. A number of years ago, I was a certified fitness trainer with a very well-known fitness agency. And I learned a lot about the human body, and exercise has been for a very long time one of the positive activities that I really enjoy. I enjoy pushing myself to the limits and figuring out what my physical limitations are. I enjoy going in and basically pouring myself out in my home gym. I call it the dungeon. And if anybody's ever worked out with me, they know why I call it the dungeon, because out there I don't have any AC. Out there I don't have any heat. So when it's hot outside, it's hot in the dungeon. When it's cold outside, it's also cold in the dungeon. And that's important to understand, because the reason why I like it that way is because that reveals the presence of an excuse. If I'm going to have an excuse, anybody's going to have an excuse. If your excuse for not working out is because it's 40 degrees outside or 40 degrees in the dungeon, well, then that's your excuse. You can actually layer up and work out. Now, it is true that if it's above 95 degrees, we typically don't work out, even though we can turn our fans on and all that kind of stuff. But the reason why I enjoy doing it is because by working my body, essentially what I'm doing is I'm adding life to my years and years to my life. This body is the home of my spirit and my soul. And when this body breaks down or breaks down too much, my soul and my spirit can no longer inhabit this body, because the connection between the two is essentially severed. And so what happens is this: should I fall into a state of health that is not very good, or I develop some kind of ailment or something like that, now, God willing, God is in charge or in control, and He can choose to keep somebody safe from something, or choose to not keep somebody safe. But we can take an active part in the choices that we make. Let me give you an example of it. I can choose to eat candy bars all day, every day, for the next year, and that's going to have some negative effects on my body. Not only is it going to have some negative effects on my body, it's going to negatively affect my mind as well, because I won't be able to think as clearly. And the reason why is because I may develop some type of deposit of fat in my veins, those kind of things, because of all the carbohydrates. I'll get more fat around my organs, visceral fat, and all those kinds of things right there, which could potentially expose me to a stroke. Since it could potentially expose me to a stroke, essentially what may happen eventually is the connection between my soul, my body, and my spirit will be severed. And so for that reason, working out does have a certain benefit to it. One of the things that I tell people is this: if you look at the fitness industry now, a lot of and this might be changing a little bit, but a lot of the advertisements show people that are relatively young and relatively, in good shape, exercise and those kind of things. It's very, very rare that you see any exercise equipment that is directed or is advertised towards people that are a little bit older. And so because of that, exercise and the promotion of it seems to be a young person's game. Well, the opposite seems to be actually true. Okay, the reason why I say that is because if you exercise when you're young, you're putting years or adding years to your life when you're older. And when you become older, it's more important for you to exercise, because your body doesn't operate the same way that it once did. I'll show you how that works. It's like this. If you're over the age of 50 and you compare yourself with when you were 20, you can't eat the same foods at 50 than you ate when you were 20. There's also a good possibility that at 50, you're probably a little bit heavier than you were when you were at 20. The same can be true for a person who's at 20 and 30. A 30-year-old body is not going to be the same as a 20-year-old body. And so that being said, A 40-year-old body is not going to be the same as a 30-year-old body or a 50-year-old body. So when you exercise, you have to exercise in accordance with the model of your body. I like to affectionately say, if you're 45 years old, your body, or the model of your body, or the model of who you are, you're a 4.5. And if a person is 21 years old, they're not 21 years old, they're a model 2.1. So every year, the model of your body changes, and you have to adapt and make changes based on the model of your body. For instance, a model 4.9 is not going to work out and exercise the same way that a 1.9 would. There's many more years on the body, but both can extract value from exercising in accordance with their body and the age that they are. And so, that being said, you'll find that when you work out, it adds vigor to your life. It adds life to your years, and it keeps you in a healthy state, and it maintains the connection between your soul, your spirit, and your body, because your body cannot inhabit, or excuse me, your soul and spirit cannot inhabit a body once that connection is broken. And if you let your body slip into a state of extreme unhealthiness, you're getting closer and closer to that connection being broken. Essentially, what unhealthy means is you're closer to that connection being broken between the soul, the spirit, and the body. So yes, there's a tremendous value in exercising. I would recommend exercising at least 4 days a week. I would recommend also exercise in such a way that elevates your heart rate to a specific point. And by doing so, you're ensuring that the inward part of you that cannot be seen is healthy also, not just the muscles that can be seen. You want to make sure the inner part of you is healthy as well. And by doing that, you'll extract tremendous value from exercising itself. I'm Father Charles, and have a blessed day.